All right, what's the most challenging, being a monarch or being a mother?
She says that depends on the day.
Oh, I bet. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that's a fair answer.
Mhm.
So if the kids were being well behaved, being a monarch was more challenging, and vice versa, right?
She says always a monarch, always a mother.
Yeah. All right, what is one of your favorite memories in your lifetime?
She says truthfully, her favorite memories were of her childhood.
Oh,
And she said she had many wonderful memories over the course of her life, but it was when a part of her life that could not be brought back any longer
yeah,
that she had such fondness for.
that's true.
That
Not none of the burdens that you experienced after your childhood. Yeah. Okay. What do you think your greatest accomplishment has been?
she's joking when she says this because she's kind of got a little bit of a laugh to her, but she says, getting up each morning and standing up. She says, as I aged, it was a great accomplishment to keep going forward. Uh, but
I
she
hear
says,
you.
but she says, really her greatest accomplishment she feels was what she was able to share from her experience. She says, from her challenges. And she says, and not that it was always done right,
Okay.
but that it was always done looking everything in the face. She says, because even behind closed doors, I had to look everything in the face, no matter how difficult it was.
Oh, wow. Remarkable. Is there anything you didn't achieve, like on a personal project or on a soul level, you would like to share with us?
She says that really not anything in particular as one project. She says that there were some things that were beyond her control, um, like she's giving me the sense of like rulings,
Oh, okay.
like
Proclamation.
laws, things
Law.
that
Yeah.
were had been there for a long, long time
Okay.
that she didn't quite have the opportunity to change it because she could see, and she says it was more towards the years that she had grown older that she could see the changes in the world,
Yeah.
um, and the conflict that many of these things had, although in human form, she says a great part of her honored tradition.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a, she says, bit of a conflicting thing within her. And so
Yeah.
that was the one thing that she couldn't really have changed, but that she does hope that is able to be changed.
Okay. What was the thing you most regret after taking the throne as your reign as queen?
Well, and she says this is being very honest. She says that taking the role as queen, she says that she would put that honor, as she was saying before, that legacy, that honor to uphold the royal family, to uphold the monarchy,
Mhm.
that would stand at times above what she would humanly feel.
Okay.
And that means when it came to who people loved or what she heard of behind closed doors,
Yeah.
was things that she had to make decisions on, that she was looking at a bigger picture and not necessarily on what her heart would have done.
I gotcha. Okay. What is your current view of the status quo of the European Union and the United Kingdom? And will or should the UK rejoin the EU?
Well, she's talking about not only that, but many other parliaments or uh, places um, in power that are being dismantled, because she says that the dismantling is what's going to create a better opportunity for leadership. She's saying that at this time, that the leadership that is present, and she's saying this from her spiritual perspective, there is necessity for it to be dismantled rather than resurfaced.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think so too. What do you think about the new prime minister? I can't remember, Liz Trust or
Um,
her name is.
she actually says that she quite likes her. Um, she does believe that she is like a new shoe, a new step
Okay.
in the right direction. But she does say that she has a lot on her plate
Yeah.
to work through, and that this is going to be a challenging time for her. But
Will
she
you give
thinks
her
that she's up
guidance?
for it.
Yeah. Will you give her some guidance from where you are?
Of course, she says, I offer guidance to many.
Okay. As a monarch who saw many troubling periods come and go, what are your insights and guidance regarding the current war in Ukraine? What do you think the prospects are there also?
She says that it's a replaying of history.
Yeah.
Um, we're watching history replay itself. And so we are, um, she says, we are in need to dismantle dictatorship.
Mm,
We are in need to bring peace. And she says that from her perspective, as unfortunate as it is to see what's occurring, the necessity of this process. Um, she says that this does need to happen. She's not saying war needs to happen,
mm,
but she says that this process needs to happen to be able to bring our not only those countries, but our entire world to a different place of understanding. Because what's standing with Ukraine and with Russia is, she says, that the bottom line of it comes power
yeah.
and money.
Mm.
And those two things have no place in a world where we are all equally abundant and able to create that for ourselves.
Oh, so true. And now we see China, they are taking over farmland and other things here in the US because they don't really produce enough to eat for themselves. And they're taking over Brazil. So, are buying up all their natural resources and stuff. So what do you think about China? What's from your perspective as a spirit, what can be done? What's going on?
What she's saying is that that countries, um, and she's saying in North America, that countries are better to come into their own resources, um, because fair trade or fair deals cannot be made at this time when there is intent behind one structure that has more power to
Right.
take over. And
Yeah.
so she says that as each individual right now in the world that is ascending into their own power, this must also be done as each country ascends to their own power and looks within themselves to see where are your resources, where is your ability to create the abundance for your community, or rather than get it all from the outside. Because when that occurs, then there will be and she says, and this will overturn there will be new guidance come forward with this so that each country can then, in a healthy manner, be able to have a fair treaty, a fair deal. She says right now there's no fairness. And so
No.
she says that it's very important that the countries look at, she says, materialism, because there is a very high price to pay for certain materials and things that we live in humanity that we're living with that maybe we don't need. And she
Yeah,
says that what we are going to see in the coming times is that breaking down not to hurt us, but to allow us to evaluate what is truly important and then to learn how to source for ourselves.
exactly. Well, a lot of the, like in Brazil, some of the corrupt leaders, politicians, the Chinese say, hey, look, give us this, let us buy this natural resource area, and we'll give you and your family some these many millions of whatever. So that's a problem. When you have corrupt leaders, then China can walk all over a country. And
Hmm.
once you rob a country of their natural resources, you don't have
Hmm.
a country anymore, really.
Hmm. Right. She says then it becomes dependent.
Right. And yeah. And we saw a time over centuries of the fall of or and the change of many monarchies. Many monarchies dissolved, and others went from being dictatorial to benevolent, more humanitarian
Hmm.
humanitarianism oriented, etc. So is that what we're going to see with dictators throughout the world? That
Yes,
they're going to fall?
she says we're going to use the word growth
Okay.
because growth can mean that one is able to experience change regardless of what their DNA, regardless of what their previous actions have been, and
Okay.
whether that growth comes from falling out of their place of leadership and being replaced, whether that growth comes from no longer being physically on the planet. It will give
Oh,
opportunity for there to be learning from each one of those experiences. And so our planet and all human beings on the planet right now are experiencing a great transition of growth.
yeah. Okay. What's your role like now in the afterlife? Resting, probably.
She just showed me putting her feet up on a little stool and
Yeah.
she's got her shoes off. She says something that she never did was take those shoes off.
Oh,
And she says so there's plenty of time to be able to relax. And she says that she still has her work cut out for her, but she has a very broad scope, like a very big resource behind her. And she says she's pleased to participate in the changes in humanity. She's also very pleased in communicating. She says that she's communicated with many souls on earth
okay.
in many different, um, she says, like places in their life.
All right. What past life most influenced your lifetime as Queen Elizabeth II, Your Majesty? Love that question.
So 16, 16, 20, 16, 25, around that area.
Mhm.
She says, okay, she's talking about a military, Tibetan, like a Tibetan military.
Oh,
She says that she was part of she was male.
mhm.
She was part of um, she says like a, a brigade or a foundation of in the military, like a higher up in the military, that they were protecting religion. And she says that it was about socialization and religion. And she says that it was the war, socialization, and religion, which
Oh,
she
wow.
said
Okay.
had great consequence. And she says that that lifetime is very connected to this lifetime, where the monarchy is very connected to ceremony and religion.
Okay.
She's showing like the same energy.
Yeah.
That was also her. She says horses, um, love of horses,
Uh-huh.
uh, faith. She said that her intention in that lifetime was not to hurt, but her beliefs in that lifetime were to force the religion upon communities.
Okay.
The socialization. She said that that had detriment on humanity as that part.
Okay.
Consequence.
What are your thoughts on the separation of church and state as we have in the United States compared to not the same case in the UK?
Well, she says, could we call it um, faith? Faith and state. It's what your description of faith would be. She believes, from her perspective now, that um, is there an importance to your connection to a higher power? Yes. Is it necessary to have that as a um, like a forced position, like forcing a religion,
Right.
forcing being part of something? No. She says that we are moving away from the idea that it is necessary to uphold a status of religion, and keeping that with like democracy, with
Yeah.
uh, uh, political stature. She says the two no longer go hand in hand, and she also said that the introduction of church
Hmm.
with state um, was introduced more at the time of control,
Yeah.
not of truly what
Oh, yeah, of
faith
course.
is.
So what do you think, looking back way in history, about the American Revolutionary War and, the getting away from King George and his oppression and all that? Would you be on the side of Americans during that time or the side of the UK?
Well, she says as a spiritual being, she would be on the side of truth. She would be on the side of, she says, the revolution.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, because what she says is upholding tradition is a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
but upholding tradition, if it separates people,
Mm.
if it keeps people in categories,
Yeah.
or it forces them to uphold a way of being that is not naturally in their heart, that she doesn't agree with that from her perspective now.
Okay. What is the overarching theme? I'm almost finished, but we'll have maybe short answers for these if you can. What is the overarching theme you're exploring through all of your lifetimes? I love that question.
Okay, so power, empowerment, faith, trust, um, religion, surrender, and
Oh,
she says, of course, love,
of course.
relationships, love.
Yeah. When and where will you reincarnate next time? And will you be a royal again?
She says the likelihood of incarnating back into her family is a higher perspective.
Okay.
She says that the the full plans haven't been put in
Yeah, of
motion
course.
as of yet,
Yeah.
um, but there is a very high chance that she will come back into her family. She says that in our linear understanding, it won't be for quite some time.
Okay. Do you have a message for the citizens of the United Kingdom?
She says, first of all, thank you. Thank you for standing behind me. for standing beside me. She says that my message is not only for the United Kingdom, but for all to stand by yourself, like stand with yourself, and to honor yourself. To understand that you are all limitless beings, and that you all have the power to be able to create the life that you truly desire to create. And that looking on the outside of yourself and comparing or seeing what somebody else is doing or saying, it is taking that power away from yourself. What do you believe in? And what do you choose to do for yourself? And so I thank you for all of the love and everything that you have given to me. And in return, I would like to give you your freedom.
Okay. Any advice you want to give to King Charles III?
She says to be true to yourself.
Okay. What about Harry, grandson Harry, the one that's married to Meghan Markle, as you know?
She sends love, um, uh, nurture, forgiveness, peace. Um, she also wants to let him know that she is proud of him.
That's nice. Anybody else in the family you want to give advice or a message to?
Um, each one in my family and all those, and she's saying that those that she worked with were like family to her.
Yeah.
She says that she wishes for each one of them to follow in the steps of their own faith and their own trust, and that she will be waiting in the sidelines with each one of them to be at service to help them through the rest of the days of their lives.
Okay. All right. Did COVID had anything to do with your death?
She says she's going to say that it was a contributing factor. Yes.
Okay. All right. Just two more. What do you think about my son Erik? Are y'all getting along with him? He's kind of a rascal.
She says, well, he has a lovely sense of humor.
Well,
Yes.
he does.
She says, you've got a wonderful son. You have a son to be very proud of.
Yeah.
And she says, might I add, he's very proud of you.
Oh.
She also wants to say to you, Elisa, she says to continue to follow your heart despite what anything or anyone comes at you from any direction.
Yeah.
She says you have a great deal of honor within you. And she says, if you could see the amount of light that carries you through each day, you would never bat an eyelash.
Mm.
She wishes you all the very best.
Thank you. What is one thing that we don't know about you? Some little known thing.
Well, she's saying that this may not be something that maybe a lot of people don't know, but she's talking about not liking showers. Like,
Okay.
I know she didn't like having water. So she's talking about her hair, not having
I don't
water
like
on
it
her
either.
hair.
I take
Yeah.
baths.
Yeah, she's like talking about the water. Like, there's a way that she'd like to submerge herself, and she was very specific about that because she shows me for whatever reason why that's so important. But she's just showing me like showers. It wouldn't matter how beautiful they look. Like, that's just not her thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, my husband always makes us squeeze you the glass afterwards. I'm not going to do that. Just get in the bath. All right. Well, that's all. Anything else you would like to share, Your Majesty?
She just says, Thank you very much." And I have to tell you too, it was really interesting because when we started, I could feel this, like, it's like she wanted to lift more off. Like, there was, like, this sense of unloading, um, and sometimes I feel this with spirits, like, when they've got something to say to their family or they've got things to release, I get this sense in my chest, and as we got to the end, it just lightened right up.
Oh,
Just could feel it flow right out. Um, but she says, "Thank you for giving her this opportunity, this chance to be able to speak and voice her thoughts from her spirit."
oh, that's wonderful. Are you kidding me? It's been an honor. And we'll celebrate our birthday together, April 21st.
She says, "That sounds good. She'll bring the cake."
All right. Mine's a little bit more recent than yours, 1955, but still, I'm at the thing where you have to put in the year online. It's a brr, brr, brr. Where's 1955? It's sad. Oh, well.
She's laughing and saying that hers didn't even show.
Oh, yeah. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Your Majesty. Thank you, Michelle at thehealing-art.com. I love
Thank
you. I
you.
love,
Love you
love you,
too.
Eric. I love you, Your Majesty. And I love you
Love you too.
all out there. Please be sure you subscribe and share and hit the notification bell.
That's right. Eric says,
Okay.
"Love you, Mom."
Love you. Bye.
Bye.